Hello, everybody. Eric here on Thursday, October 5th, to talk about the comic books that came in for me this week and to bump things with my elbow, apparently. There's only a few floppies, but then a lot of other stuff and some special stuff. So let's jump right in. We have the Enfield Gang Massacre, number 3. This is from Image, part of the That Texas Blood world, a prequel to that. I have not read it yet, so hopefully it's good. Then we have Ghost Lore, number 5 from Boom Studios, written by Cullen Bunn. And again, I am so far behind. I have not read this, but I have faith in Cullen Bunn. Speaking of, a new one from Cullen Bunn, Midnight Show, number 1. The Midnight Show. Number 1 from Dark Horse, written by Cullen Bunn. There's the illustration on the back. Hopefully that comes through. And this is a cursed film and monsters, cinema monsters coming to life. Sounds like a lot of fun. And then the final, not quite floppy. This is DC's Ghouls Just Want to Have Fun. Their square bound autumn horror Halloween book. And this glows in the dark. This stuff glows in the dark. That's why I got this particular cover. It's an anthology. Oh, the first story is the question. Love the question. Got the question, Green Lantern, Animal Man, Nightwing, Superman, Robot Man, Crush and Lobo, and Man Bat in a bunch of Halloween stories. Very exciting. All right, then a bunch of collected editions. This is Mighty Marvel Masterworks, the X-Men, Volume 3, Divided We Fall. And this has something. Where is it? Oh, X-Men 20 through 29. There's the covers there. There you go. Again, get to read these great old stories in an inexpensive package. Now, a not inexpensive package. This is Ghost Rider Danny Ketch, Epic Collection Volume 1, Vengeance Reborn. This has Ghost Rider 1 through 12, Mark Spector Moon Knight number 25, Doctor Strange Sorcerer Supreme number 28, and material from Marvel Comics Presents 64 through 71. So this was the return of Ghost Rider, but introducing us to a brand new version of Ghost Rider, Danny Ketch, who would eventually we'd discover that he's the brother of Johnny Blaze, but a very cool. It was a good run. I liked it. So I have Volume 1 of the Johnny Blaze stuff. Now I have Volume 1 of the Danny Ketch stuff. Then we have Doctor Strange, The Life of Doctor Strange. This is Volume 1 of the latest series. It has Doctor Strange 1 through 5. So, slight spoilers. There was a mini series called The Death of Doctor Strange, and then some one shots to figure out who was going to be the new Sorcerer Supreme, because Doctor Strange was dead. Clea became the new Sorcerer Supreme and starred in a book called Strange for I don't know how many issues. I think there's 2 volumes of it. And now Doctor Strange, Stephen Strange, is back. And I think he's the Sorcerer Supreme on Earth. Clea is the Sorcerer Supreme in the Dark Dimension. So this will be, I think, interesting. I'm a huge fan of Doctor Strange. It'll be interesting to see what's going on now that he's back from the dead. Then we have Best of 2000 AD, Volume 4 from 2000 AD. And this has What have we got? A Judge Dredd story, The Order, a critical essay, Hooligan's Haircut, I don't know what that is, DR and Quinch's Agony page, Judge Dredd, Cry of the Werewolf. So it's a bunch of different stuff. Again, basically the best of 2000 AD magazine. And then finally, for the normal stuff, this is Zatanna and the Ripper, Volume 1. This was a webtoon. Original DC stories by Webtoon. And so you've got Zatanna and Constantine, I believe, are transported back to the time of Jack the Ripper. I'm a huge fan of both characters, so I figured couldn't hurt to pick this up. So that's the basics. But I did pick up a few extra little things. Now, because Eric and Ed at Comics Argo are such great people, a few weeks ago, as of this recording, there was a Comics Palooza that some gentleman, I don't know who it is, holds this thing selling comics, and Comics Argo actually set up across the street for a special sale. And Eric Anderson sent me a message on Facebook saying, hey, there's some books here. Are you going to be at Comics Palooza? There are some books here. I can set some aside for you. And then he sent me pictures of all the books. I told him I couldn't make it, but I said there's 3 of those that look pretty interesting. And he put them aside and brought them to the comic book store. So I was able to pick them up. So what we have here is Fantastic Four, Countdown to Chaos by Pierce Askren. I don't know how you say his name. So Fantastic Four novel, which I believe, if you watch my Reading Remembrances videos, I believe I read this in 1999 at some point. It seems like I was just talking about this. And then, I don't know anything about this book, but it looked interesting. A book called Office Party. It says, today at 5, after closing, quiet little Eugene will entertain a few of his co-workers. Uh-oh. Well, we'll see. And then this is a book, I mean, I've seen it around. I've seen it at half-price books. It's from Leisure Horror, but I've never picked it up. Carnivore. Looks like it's going to be a killer dinosaur. So, I got those. Thank you to Eric Anderson. Then, let's see how easily this little price tag will come off. If I can pick it off while talking, keeping you entertained. I'm hoping it's not going to take too long. I don't know why I need to pick it off. I can tell you, it says $6, but it was half price. So I paid $3 for this book. Sort of spur of the moment. Well, I guess definitely spur of the moment. I'm going to hang it on the wall someplace where I have space. It's a comic book I love. It's a cover that's pretty cool. 50 cents is the cover price. So that should give you an idea of how old it is. And I grabbed Ka-Zar the Savage, #1. Collector's item, premiere issue. I'm a huge fan of the character Ka-Zar. Basically, Marvel's version of Tarzan. He's down in the Savage Land with his saber-toothed tiger Zabu and his wife Shanna. But for $3, yeah, I'll grab that and throw it on the wall. And then finally, I saw this last week after I'd already paid for everything, so they held on to it for me. And I grabbed it today, and this is a Marvel tarot deck and guidebook. So, I already took the plastic off. Here's the just a little guidebook. And then let's look at a few of these cards. We'll start with the Fool. And it's Deadpool. And then we have, of course, the Magician is Doctor Strange. And then let's see if there's anybody else I care to show off. Bunch of mutants. I don't care about stinking mutants. How about this one? The Hermit. It's very nice art. I really like this artwork. Silver Surfer is the Hermit. And then there's Daredevil. Winter Soldier, another mutant. Loki, of course, is the devil. Galactus is the tower. Oh, there we go. The moon, of course, is going to be Moon Knight. Makes sense. And then, then we're getting into the lesser arcana. Oh, it's Lockheed. For some reason, is the Three of Wands. I like Lockheed. So I didn't realize these were all good. Oh, there's Squirrel Girl. She's the Queen of Cups. The Three of Cups, Power Man and Iron Fist. Nice. Couple of bros. So there's a chance. Maybe Moon... oh, there we go. It's Jeff. So maybe Man-Thing will be in here. That'd be cool. There's Spider-Gwen. Some stones. There's Iron Man is the King of Coins. Makes sense, I guess. Alright. I'll have to look through all these later. So there you go. The Marvel Tarot deck. Very nice box. Slip those back in there. Slip the the guidebook back in there. There you go. Marvel Tarot deck and guidebook. So that is what I picked up at the comic shop today. How about this for a question? What IP, I suppose, or genre or theme would you like to see for a tarot deck? Whether or not you're a tarot person, what might catch your eye and get you to say, hey, I'm going to pick that up because I really dig that property, the artwork. That's a tougher call for me because there's already tarot decks for a lot of the things that for which I would answer. Obviously the Marvel, there's a DC tarot deck. I don't have that yet. There's a horror tarot deck, but it's generic horror, so I suppose my answer might be... I'll give two. One would be a movie monster tarot deck, and whether that could be Universal monsters, it could be slashers, maybe just a movie horror tarot deck as opposed to the generic illustrations, which are very nice in the horror deck that exists now. I don't know that there's like a Universal monster one, but that could be really cool. Or a slasher one. And then my other that I think would be more difficult would be literary horror tarot. And I would love to see things from classics, throw in some literary Frankenstein, Dracula, Jekyll and Hyde, but also modern day, throw in some Stephen King stuff, throw in some Brian Keene, throw in some Jeff Strand. There's so much to choose from. And again, you could get some cinema types. You could get Cenobites in there because Clive Barker, Hellbound Heart. So those are my two. A cinematic horror tarot deck and a literary horror tarot deck. That's just off the top of my head. I just glanced over at one of my games. I suppose a Star Wars tarot deck could be cool. Except, they'd probably include certain movies that I'm not a fan of. I'd rather it was original artwork than pictures from the movies. But what about you? Is there any property, anything that would catch your eye as far as a tarot deck would go? I know it's not the greatest question, but that's what happens when I don't think ahead. Let me know in the comments below. If you have any comments, questions, or corrections, please put those in the comments below. Comments are open for spoilers. Just post spoiler warning. We try to be polite here on my channel. Please like, share, and subscribe, all the usual YouTube stuff. If you care to follow me on other social media, I don't think it's going to last much longer, but as of this recording, on Twitter, I am at Ronan5757. On Instagram, where I post pictures of books, comic books, board games, and fuzzy animals, it's Eric Smith 5757. That's Eric with a K, ERIKSMITH 5757. And if you're on Blue Sky, I am at EL Smith. That's all I have this week. So until next week, read more comic books.